tip it off. It's a fresh shoot-around. Happy Thursday, Big East Hoops fans. We've got an action-packed show ahead for you as all the schools are back in session across the Big East. Players back to campus, so workouts have started up. I was in Milwaukee at one Marquette workout. Coach Steve Wojciechowski is our guest, and we've got your interaction too. We're on Facebook Live, at Big East on Twitter, Fox Sports Go. Feel free to submit your questions or your comments throughout the show as I'm joined by Jay Alter, BEDN correspondent. And Jay, I'll tell you what, you start to see teams back.
It gets the juices flowing.
And speaking of juices flowing, let's go to Chicago where we saw the new court getting laid down at Wintrust Arena. What did you take away from this?
A sneak peek. This is beautiful. Brand new downtown Chicago. My favorite part about the court that you see them installing there, the Chicago skyline on the bottom of it. Such a cool touch at Wintrust Arena. The Blue Demons, they're going to be rocking that thing in a couple of months.
They're moving into Wintrust Arena, and they've got Notre Dame coming up on November 11th. That will open up their Wintrust Arena era, and the women also have a big game.
Yeah, UConn going to Chicago. Gino Auriemma and the ladies, that is, I will be watching that one.
Speaking of moving in, well, we've had some moving in going on around our campus. I said school's back in session, so some Big East Hoops players got out to their respective campuses and helped out the students to move in.
Coach Ewing, I need you to move my mattress.
And Seton Hall as well. And you said it, there's a lot of people with a ton of smiles on their faces, huh?
I don't get the smiles. This was not my move-in experience. Steve Wojciechowski helping someone with a television. I went to Syracuse. Coach Boeheim never helped me move in to my dorm room.
What was your least favorite thing to move in?
I think I said it earlier, the mattress. I mean, to get that through the door, your mom's pushing from the back, dad's trying to pull it through. Never good for the Alter household move-in day.
I'll flip the table. You want to know what my most favorite thing to move in was?
Tell me.
The microwave and the pop secret that went with it.
Cannot blame you there.
No. Well, our schools are back on campus, and workouts are fired up, and you bring in a new coach that also has playing experience at that respective school. That's the benefit of having Laval Jordan at the helm at Butler.
Yeah.
Not only can he coach, he can get on the court.
Well, he must not have been happy because he is demonstrating himself. Get out of the way. I'll back you down. Really cool, though. And how about Coach Jordan? He's still in playing shape. Great shape for the first-year head coach.
Well, we did that piece in the spring of coaches that were players.
Yes.
You put together your starting five.
That was before Coach Jordan was in the conference, though.
What does that mean now with him in the wrinkle?
I'd take Chris Mack out at the 2 spot. In goes Laval Jordan. So,
update
to the J Alter 5.
I like Coach Mack. I like him so much. So does his Xavier Musketeers because they gave him a contract extension after the Elite Eight berth this past season. Now Coach Mack, well, he is extended.
Yes, he is. I was there in San Jose. Great job for Coach Mack, and he's having some fun with his kids in the backyard, John. This is what summertime is all about. Throw it down. I feel bad. The 2 daughters, they're volleyball players. They're not basketball players. And in the pool, he's got the size advantage. Come on. We got to even things out here, Coach Mack. You can't just be abusing your daughters in the pool like that.
Here's the thing. I respect it. I love the one-hand jams. What I will say, though, that last dunk.
Go the other way.
That's charge.
I think the feet weren't set when you're...
Michael Stevens would be flying in with the charge going the other way, Coach. I'm sorry. I mean, look, you've led your Musketeers to the Elite Eight last year, 4 Sweet 16s, 17 wins away from being the winningest coach at Xavier. I mean, how about that? But that was a charging foul. That was a charging foul.
Referee Fanta going the other way.
Let's move on. We go to the water in the dog days of summer for dogs, Jay. You know, how do you stay cool? Well, 2 of our dogs, bulldogs that is, they were having fun.
I love dogs. You got, Butler Blue for Butler Patriotic. You love seeing that. Who doesn't love a dog in summertime? And especially Jack, the bulldog from Georgetown.
Oh, man. If I could be a dog for a day, this is what I would do. I'd be rocking it in the hot tub. Hopefully the water was cool that day.
Does the dog need a life jacket?
Oh, the super slow-mo. I mean, come on. That is living it up. They've had the summer of dreams. If you could be a dog breed, what would you be?
I'd have to go with the Schnauzer Poodle, which is what the Alter family has. Half Schnauzer, half Poodle.
Showman.
Yeah, a competition dog. That's what I would be. I'd get right into it and bring home some gold medals.
Shout out to our friends at Fox Sports. They are the official home of the Westminster Dog Show year in and year out.
I guess I should know that.
I be my two Habaneses, Teddy and Moccasin. Shout out to you guys. They're running all over the place. I love their energy. I love their spirits. I have so much fun. It's the only time I get outside in the house to run.
Next week, we're doing a full 30 minutes on dogs.
Yes. Well, on Sunday, we had Darren Hilliard. It's great to see several Big East alums in the NBA.
Always.
But how about the FIBA Americup? Hilliard and the United States, they were trailing in this one. They came back to win, and here is what Darren had to say after taking the gold.
Coach Wright, we did it. You know how we do, man. We brought it home, baby. I'm out.
What I like about Darren Hilliard, remembering the roots. He's still on the court, just received the gold medal, and who is he shouting out? Jay Wright in Villanova basketball. And on the topic of coaches, I have to point it out. I think it's really cool. Hilliard plays for the Pistons, head coach Stan Van Gundy. Well, the coach of the FIBA team, Jeff Van Gundy. I'd love to ask Darren, who was a better coach, Stan Van or Jeff Van?
I would love to just go to lunch with Stan Van Gundy. I mean, first off, I think that we could both be in a burger competition because we
Would
both.
it be burgers?
Yeah, burgers. I had a great burger in Milwaukee earlier this week.
Appetizer or something?
Yeah. I mean, that could be a lot of fun. I would be intrigued by that. We were in Milwaukee earlier this week, and we got Coach Wojciechowski coming up. But we also talked to women's basketball coach Carolyn Kiger, a former Marquette player, and for her as a coach, it was all that much more humbling when she led the Golden Eagles to their first Big East title.
I think even before the game started, I looked up in the crowd and I saw a packed house. And for me, that's what I want our players to feel every night. And that was such a big moment for me as an alum. And when the horn buzzed and I looked around and I saw the crowd and I saw our team and our staff embraced, it was a moment I'll never forget. And it was one that, you know, I want to remember, but I also want to chase. And I want to feel that feeling again. And I want our program to feel that. And you know, I know it was a lot of hard work to get there, but I think that was just the start of something, and I look forward to chasing that again.
John, what I will never forget about Coach Kiger is in that championship game, at home court, feeding off the energy. She was on the sideline waving that hair around, and it flies in every direction. I don't do it justice, of course, but a lot of energy on the sideline, and has done great things with the Marquette program.
Her passion for her alma mater is infectious, and I saw that this week in the interview. Great stuff from Carolyn Kiger. You can see the full interview on BigEast.com, at BigEastWBB on Twitter. We posted it just an hour ago. And we've got Coach Steve Wojciechowski as he led Marquette to the NCAA tournament last season. For the first time since 2013, the Golden Eagles went to the big dance. Now they got Marcus Howard, Andrew Rousey, Sam Hauser back, and some newcomers to the Golden Eagles. But before we get to Marquette, we know you're all waiting for the conference schedule. It's coming out soon. But let's throw it back to 2013 for the first night of Big East play in the reconfigured Big East, a New Year's Eve marathon. December 31st, 2013, the reconfigured Big East revved up conference play with a New Year's Eve marathon on Fox Sports 1 all the way until the ball drop.
A lot of guys before you have worn those jerseys. David West, give his right arm to play in the Big East. Ryan Grant, same thing. Byron Larkin, all the way down the line. It's your opportunity.
The Musketeers came out rolling against the Red Storm, and Matt Stainbrook, the bounce pass and a brilliant finish as Xavier made an opening statement in their first Big East game, taking down the Johnnies. Then we go to Friartown with two Big East originals, and they show the tradition of this conference as Seton Hall and Providence going back and forth. Fuquanewa with a clutch shot, Sterling Gibbs with this free throw, and the Pirates forcing a travel to come out with a double overtime victory. What a way to go into Friartown and open up conference play. To our nation's capital, Georgetown was running and gunning as the Hoyas. They made a nice opening statement with a nice win. While Gus and Bill were rolling to Butler, they do two games in this marathon. It was the Bulldogs taking on Villanova, and the Dogs took the Wildcats to the limit, but you know this guy, Arcidiacono. Ryan coming up with a big three. The day would close out in Omaha. with Dougie McBuckets, showing not only the Big East but the rest of the country what he was made of as Creighton came out rolling against Marquette and would go on to get the win. The Big East was back, and it's better than ever. He enters his fourth season at the helm at Marquette, and for the first time, all of his players are just that, his recruits. Steve Wojciechowski is with me. Coach, thanks for your time. How was your summer?
Had a great summer. Obviously got a chance to spend a lot of time with my family, work with our guys who are here throughout most of the summer, and try to continue to improve our program and move it forward.
What do you do for fun during the summer when you get some time off?
Well, I got a 9 and 7-year-old boy, so I hang out with those guys, and they like doing normal kid stuff, so I follow right along.
I got to ask you here, as you enter year 4, when you took the job here, you have expectations. What has maybe been surprising or exceeded your expectations about being at Marquette?
Well, it's a special place, and I knew that from a distance. Obviously, it's one of the best brands in college basketball, and I recognized that before I ever got here. The support, obviously, has been terrific. The quality of people has just been overwhelmingly good, from Dr. Lovell to Bill Scholl to the people that I work with throughout athletics to the greater school community.
325 three-pointers a year ago. And on top of that, you led the Big East in points per game with 82.5, 16 assists per game. How do you generate that type of offensive success?
Well, we had really good players, and we had outstanding shooters. And on the offensive end last year, I thought we played very well together. I'm not sure if our offense will be quite as powerful as it was last year, but I hope to have the same unselfishness as we displayed throughout the season. We have a long way to go in terms of improving our defense, and that's one of the things that we've talked a lot about our team about in the offseason and now in the preseason. We have to do a great job protecting the paint, holding teams to one shot, contesting every shot, and really being connected as a defensive unit. I'm not sure we did that very well consistently at all last year. And in order for us to make another step forward as a program, we have to continue to play unselfishly the way we do on the offensive end, but we need to improve our defense.
Marcus Howard's a freshman, Andrew Rousey transfer, and now going to be a redshirt senior. Those two combined to be quite a backcourt duo. How was that able to happen so quickly for them?
Well, I think in Marcus's case, he has a maturity that is well beyond his years. And once he got through the initial few weeks of the season, you really started to see who he was and who he is an outstanding kid, somebody who plays very hard, special abilities on the offensive end, who grew each week as a player. And then I think Andrew had to knock the rust off the redshirt year. And so once you saw him get comfortable, you saw his scoring ability. And then at the end of the year when we made our push, those two guys were in the lineup a lot, and it proved to be a very successful combination for us.
You talked about the maturity of Marcus Howard. Meanwhile, Sam Hauser comes in, and he leads the team in minutes last season. Why were you able to rely upon him for that kind of minutes load?
Well, I trust him, and he earned that trust through his day-to-day play and practice, and really he was as consistent a player we had on a day-to-day basis as anyone on the team, right from the very start, which I'm not sure I've ever been able to say about a freshman before. And he's a darn good player too, which helps.
Let's completely go off the map, off the court. Growing up, favorite TV show?
Wow, probably SportsCenter.
Really? Any favorite anchor?
Is that surprising?
No, not at all.
When I was a kid, it was kind of the Dan Patrick, Keith Olbermann era, and those guys were like legends, I think.
When you're on the road and you do get a little bit of spare time, is it a book series that you like? Do you like to read, or is it more of a TV show? What?
I enjoy podcasts.
Yeah.
I not that I don't enjoy reading, but I just put the earphones in and listen to whatever podcast that's out there.
What do you like?
Ryan Hawk, The Learning Leader, is one that I really like. The Chronicles of Reddick by J.J. Reddick, who I coached at Duke, is one I really enjoy. There's a whole host of them.
Favorite place to go in Milwaukee to eat? We have that as a fan question.
Yeah, well, if I'm going for steaks, I'll usually hit up Moe's Steakhouse. If I'm going for Italian, I'll hit up the Calderon Club. If it's a nice summer night, I may hit the rooftop of the Journeyman. So those would be a couple of the options.
I know that Mike Krzyzewski's probably at the top of this list, but are there other idols that you really look up to for inspiration?
I think my folks. I've been very fortunate to be a part of great teams throughout my life, and the best team I've ever been on was the first team I was ever on, and that's the Wojciechowski team. And, that standard was set by my mom and dad.
I'll leave you with this. If you had a message to your fan base heading into 2017-18, what is it?
That we need them. We have a tremendously tough non-conference schedule. Obviously, the Big East schedule speaks for itself. It's the last year of the Bradley Center. We need this to be the best year yet in terms of support and, how they bring out the energy in the game.
Coach, thanks so much.
Thank you.
And Wojo's saying he wants this to be the best year yet for his Golden Eagles, and one way he's going to do it is with defense. Well, there's no better coach probably in America to coach defense than Steve Wojciechowski going back to his playing days. Such an elite defender at Duke.
He had them working with bricks at the start of practice. They were shuffling back and forth, and I was impressed with their intensity. They have spent all 4 of their workouts. That's about 2 hours, 40 minutes worth of time, because they're on a limit. But they've spent every single minute on defense. No shots being hoisted. It's all about getting better on that end of the floor. When you average over 82 points a game like they did last year, now it's about getting stops.
So excited to see how the Golden Eagles stack up in this Big East as we continue to inch closer and closer to Big East basketball here on the BEDN. And Coach Wojciechowski and a lot of Big East coaches in this conference, they love to utilize the transfer when it fits for both the player and the team to make it happen. We saw it last year, Wojo bringing in Andrew Rousey and a couple other guys, Marcus Foster, the Creighton, Rodney Pryor, the Georgetown, and Seton Hall announcing this week they'll have a transfer sitting out this year, but so the next year he'll be ready. Torian Thompson from Syracuse will be a Seton Hall Pirate. So very exciting news there. And it really prompted the question in the office between John and I, who are some of the transfers to look out for in this upcoming Big East season? So they've sat out their year, and now they're ready to play.
Yeah, and I really like Paul Jorgensen at Butler. The point guard will be taking over along with shooting guard. You're going to see him both the 1 and the 2. I think Kamar Baldwin primarily at the 1. I like him a lot. I also like Justin Simon at St. John's. Harry Froling at Marquette adds a post presence mid-year.
And you saw Froling with your own eyes there in Milwaukee this past week. I'll stay in the Midwest with my 2 and 3. Austin Grandstaff from DePaul. This guy, 4-star recruit, goes to Ohio State, now going to DePaul. Think he will get a lot of court time and put up some points there in Chicago. And then Karam Cantor, younger brother of Ennis Cantor with the Oklahoma City Thunder. I know Xavier has a lot of size already with Jones and O'Mara, but add Cantor to the mix. He'll get some playing time. Averaged 12 points a game, 6 rebounds a game for Green Bay last year. And then Marvin Clark for St. John's. You mentioned Simon. What a 1-2 punch Chris Mullen brings in for the Red Storm this year.
Yeah, to me, St. John's will go as far as Marvin Clark and Justin Simon add to Shamari Pons and Marcus Levette. I like their core. Now it's about coming together, playing good defense. We'll see what the Johnnies are made of.
Who is your impact transfer? Send it to us at Big East Shootaround. I'm curious who you guys, is there somebody we missed? And one other quick note on Clark, while some people send in some choices. The only player in Michigan State's history to play every single game and make the Final Four as a freshman.
Yeah, that is really something.
I mean, that's so many. They make the Final Four a lot under Tom Izzo, and he's the only one to play all 39 games on that run.
One popular submission, Caleb Joseph heading to Creighton to join Marcus Foster and Kyrie Thomas.
Yeah, Coach McDermott adding a talented guard to the mix, and I like that he's not expected to start right away. They do have some depth at guard, but Caleb Joseph, I mean, he has the potential to make some things happen in Omaha under Coach McDermott.
Well, we turn to that. We're talking about making things happen. Jay Wright has really been able to get it done on the recruiting trail, and now Villanova welcomes in some more freshmen. We turn this week to the Wildcats for our recruiting profile.
When it comes to Villanova's recruiting, the Wildcats don't rebuild, they reload. The class of 2017 is no different. Check out Jermaine Samuels. In the ESPN 100 Top 50, the 6'6" wing chose Villanova over the likes of Duke and Kansas. And with the exit of Josh Hart, Samuels fits a similar profile. On the Nike EYBL circuit, Samuels averaged 13.5 points for Expression Elite and shined on the defensive side of the floor as well. Another incoming freshman who fits perfectly into Jay Wright's system is guard Colin Gillespie, a local Philly kid who led Archbishop Wood to their first ever Catholic League title. Gillespie paved the way, scoring 24 points in the championship game and averaging 22 points, 5.5 assists, and 6 rebounds every time he touched the floor. Nova's third and final recruit, also a Philly kid, coming from Newman Goretti, Demir Crosby Roundtree. He brings size at 6'9", 215, and immediate talent. Crosby Roundtree averaged a double-double his senior year. This class joins the likes of Jalen Brunson, Mikal Bridges and company as the future continues to stay bright at Nova.
Coach Wright gets the Villanova way players. That attitude that he preaches, he's able to get into fit. We just saw a senior class leave that was legendary.
And this freshman class will one day be those seniors. And when you talk about fit, these three guys provide three different things that all mesh together to form the Villanova way.
We're on Fox Sports Go, Big East Facebook, at Big East on Twitter, so we love your questions. And we've got a couple submissions here this week. Let's get right to it, Jay.
First question goes to you, John, actually. It's you were out there in Milwaukee. What steps does this team need to take to continue to improve this season?
Well, the Golden Eagles need to get better on the defensive end, as we said. I also think the front court is so integral for them. So watch out for freshman Theo John. He's going to get good minutes for the Musketeers this upcoming year. He's probably the most ready freshman. Jamal Cain at 6'7" on the wing is also interesting. The Golden Eagles need to get a little bit tougher in the paint. They see Luke Fisher go. I like what they have returning. Now we have to see results out of Matt Helt, and then on top of that, Theo John and Harry Froling. So for the Golden Eagles, it's defense, then it's rebounding.
Another question, we have been highlighting these freshmen incoming in our recruiting profiles. We've got somebody wondering, how on earth with Xavier, all the talent they already have, going to an Elite Eight, how do you fit in this top 10 recruiting class, namely Scruggs and Marshall?
That's why you have one of the best head coaches in the country. His name is Chris Mack. That's why he got extended earlier this week. They have a good problem to have. Quentin Gooden is certainly good and a great option for them. I love Scruggs coming in, though, and giving them that burst. We'll see how he goes about it. He was tough on Edmund Sumner at first in terms of playing time, so I like Scruggs a lot. Marshall, it's a good problem to have. He's going to learn from Blewett and Makura, and with their development, he'll be even better because of it. So watch out for the Xavier Musketeers this year. Again, they have Final Four potential. J.P. Makura wasn't kidding last week, Jay. There's no doubt about it.
And, John, we have a third and final question on Big East Shoot-Around. A lot of teams scheduled very competitively in the non-conference. Whose schedule would you say is the most competitive? And the person writing it in, Barney, says he's got Xavier as the most competitive. And we were just talking about the Musketeers. Who would you say has put together the most competitive non-conference?
Seton Hall. They go to Louisville. On top of that, they take on VCU in the Never Forget Tribute Classic. They're playing Texas Tech at the Garden. These are NCAA tournament caliber teams. They welcome in Indiana in the Gavitt games. So collectively, they got some locals that are actually good in terms of RPI, like Monmouth and Manhattan intermixed there. So it's not like you have a team on your schedule that you say, well, that could hurt them. Between all those things and the NIT, Rhode Island's the best team in the Atlantic 10, in my opinion, this upcoming year. And then either Virginia or Vanderbilt, the Pirates have quite a slate, and they have the senior class to reflect it.
And we are hearing soon the conference schedule will be out, and then we can take a full look at all 10 teams, combine the non-conference with the conference. I've refused to shave until the schedule comes out, letting a little scruff come.
I just wish I could get to that point with the facial hair, but you got the Gillette razors?
The best the man can get. Isn't that the
Wow! How about that? I love the Just for Men commercials. We're going to take this home.
Yeah.
Now we're talking too much about shaving, which is kind of strange. Well, Our Beyond the Game segment this week turns to the DePaul Blue Demons and a women's basketball star that was amazing on the court and off it, in the community academically as well. I'm talking about Jessica January. She was drafted by the Connecticut Sun, the WNBA. Now she is one of 30 finalists for the NCAA Woman of the Year Award, which is given to that student athlete that not only does it athletically, but academically in the community as well. On the court, January is only the second Blue Demon to record a triple-double in their program's history. And she was the Big East preseason player of the year heading into last year before she did have a tough injury that she would battle back from and help the Blue Demons to another NCAA tournament. Jessica, congratulations. You have represented the Big East so incredibly well. And you keep on doing what you've been doing. You're going to make a great difference. She's in our Beyond the Game this week. Coming up on Shootaround, though, we are traveling tomorrow. We're not live. We'll be getting features and tons of content. We were in Milwaukee earlier this week, and tomorrow we're visiting with
Coach Cooley.
That's right. Hold up that bobblehead. Coach Cooley, we're going to be talking to him.
We are a lot of talk. They've got the new facility coming in, some recruits coming in for Coach Cooley as well. This is a team that this man has brought to the NCAA tournament for 4 straight years. He will make it 5, and we'll ask him how.
And debuting in Providence, soon then to be seen on Shootaround, Big Eats.
Oh.
You can try to guess
no more.
what that's going to entail on Shootaround. We're back at it next Thursday, 3 o'clock, Fox Sports Go, at Big East on Twitter, the Big East on Facebook. Continue to follow our platforms. Like we said, the Big East schedule's coming out soon, so you got to stay locked in. The season's just around the corner. Coach Cooley will visit with him tomorrow. On to Friartown. He's Jay Alter. I'm John Fanta. Have a great weekend, Big East Hoops fans.